All right, everybody, we are on here live with Fulvio. We're going to give you a few more minutes to get set up, and then we'll start our presentation on traveling in Italy with tour guide Fulvio. Another warm day today?
Was that?
Was it another warm day today?
It was. It's kind of chilly now, which is 9 p.m. for us.
Oh, yes. Yeah.
But during the day is really nice. Yeah.
Yeah.
During the day, you feel like spring started. You see the flowers, the plants blooming and blowing and everything.
Yeah.
But then in the evening,
Oh.
it's like
Oh.
winter time again.
So it was 9 degrees yesterday here.
9 Celsius or Fahrenheit?
9 Celsius.
Celsius.
Plus 9. Okay. And overnight it went down to minus, I think, 11 with a minus 21 wind chill.
No, we never get that.
Yeah.
No.
Yeah.
At least not here.
Yeah. That's perfect. Okay. All right, Fulvio, I think it is time we can get started.
Good.
So would like to welcome everybody to our presentation on Italy. And we've got Fulvio Bracciali. Fulvio has been a great friend of Target Tours. He organized, or he tour guided our first group back in 2014. And then again in 2016. And one of my fondest memories of Fulvio was I'd be leading the group at the front with my flag, and then Lynn would be at the back. But during our walks into villages, I remember just asking Fulvio questions after questions. He was so patient. And every day we would try to improve our tour, and he'd give us great suggestions as to what we can do, and also places we should go visit. So from 2014 to 2016, we improved that much more. So it's great to have him over there in Italy as a good resource for us. And we've also became good friends. We've reached out on Facebook at times to see what's happening and check in during the last couple of years when we're in COVID. So Fulvio, welcome.
Hello, everyone. Nice to see you again.
Perfect. Excellent. So we probably have a few people that will be on the video that may have participated in some of the tours that we took part in. So I'm going to kind of do a small presentation, and we're kind of go into what we're going to cover. So back in 2014, this is our group. This is a big group that we had, 50 people, and there's Fulvio right along, bus driver Moreno. So brings back good memories. This was in Montecatini.
Yes.
Yeah.
I remember that. It's funny. It's funny that I see lots and lots of groups, but at the end, somehow, when I see pictures, the people again, I do remember them all.
Nice. And I got a couple of good emails just recalling nice stories of how Fulvio helped people out. So we really appreciate that. So this is more of an informational thing. We really don't have an Italy program that we're selling yet, but we hope to have something for 2023. But I kind of want to give, it's more informational and talk about what's happening on the ground right now, and just to give everybody a sense of what's happening with travel coming up this year, and kind of what happened last year as we're coming out of the pandemic. If you're on there, just please say hello, where you're from. And I've got Lindsay also in the background. She'll say hello to you. And if you have any questions at all for Fulvio, please reach out and put them in the comment section. So first question that we've got, Fulvio, is how has tourism changed? I have post-COVID here, but perhaps during COVID.
Okay, so Well, last year, likely I end up of having a few groups from the beginning of August. So basically, the first half of the season, we were still at home, because of COVID, the lockdown, and so on. But likely, people found the courage, let's say, traveling again, and it was a challenge, of course, because we had no idea what could happen during the tour. What if somebody became positive, what should we do with the rest of the group, and so on. Luckily, nothing really happened. Actually, for the last few months of the season last year that I had the chance to work, I only had a couple of people who got positive. Of course, all the people I had on my tours were fully vaccinated. We were all wearing masks. But to be honest with you, you can't do that for the entire time with a group. You're having dinner together, you're sharing, a bus together, and doesn't matter how hard you try, at one point, because you're on holiday, because you're very close to the people you're traveling with, you end up of feeling also free to take your mask off, to talk, to be close to the other ones. And that was actually a good aspect, because people finally, I could tell, that everybody had a struggle, because of COVID. So, but I could see on their face they felt free for the first time, probably after a long time. So there was
Yeah.
a great emotional aspect of being on tour with those people. And again, I don't know if it was a matter of luck, but we end up not having big issues. Italy was really well prepared, as you could read and you could see on the media. We were pretty strict. Actually, consider most of my clients are from the United States, and they were all surprised how strict Italians were during
Really?
COVID. So yeah. So let's say I had to bring somebody in a coffee place, just for coffee, or let them use restroom. And the owners of the staff, the cafeterias, the restaurant, they were like, "Hey, wait, wear your mask, keep the distance." And probably the entire world didn't expect that from Italians, right? We are
Yeah.
usually the ones that not respect the rules 100%, but we end up being very strict and let the things work. So the only, not even an issue, the only main difference was that it took us a longer time sometimes to enter places, because at the entrance they were checking the QR code for the vaccination
Yeah.
cards, and sometimes you have to show that with your ID. And one person at the entrance of a museum or a church doing all those kind of checking just delayed pretty much everything. But there were not crowds of tourists, so in for certain aspects it was also easier than before.
Yeah.
The feeling I have is that we are going towards the end of all
Yeah.
that. I can see the reaction of other political leaders in the world, in Europe as well. So from the 1st of March in Italy will be a lot easier to do most of the things. So we are removing most of the restrictions too.
Nice. No, and I think as we get more into this, that we start going down the road of things are opening up. We are also seeing that most people are vaccinated. They are getting boosted. So I think when it comes down to protections of how to keep yourself safe, it becomes down to being vaccinated, make sure you're boosted, wearing your mask where you can't be 6 feet apart, and hand sanitizing. And I think that's, as we go down this road and things start to open up, people will feel a lot more comfortable with how things are going, right? So and they'll start getting out there a little bit more. So we're excited about that. I think it'll be the first tour that you've got going. That'll be the one that kind of be the like the one that you have to try and keep things going straight. So I'm happy to hear your first tour you got going out is in when?
The April the 5th will be the
Perfect.
first group.
Perfect. Okay, excellent. And it's going to be a busy year. It'll
I
be a
lost
busy
you.
year. Yeah, it'll be a
Ready?
busy year for you.
So far, yes, I'm fully booked.
Wonderful.
Unfortunately, as you know, there are a lot of things going on right now in the
Yep.
world, and I hope that won't affect
Yeah.
anything. And of course, it won't affect the tourist business because we cannot afford another year
Yeah.
at home.
Yeah. I hear you. I hear
So,
you on that one.
mm,
So we've kind of broken this presentation down into some attractions that Fulvio thinks that people should see if they're going to Italy. And also, we've also got something at the end, some his surprises, a couple of destinations that we may not think about, but if you're going back to Italy, then this might be something you want to consider. So
right.
we have Rome is on our first of the list. So explain to me what you like about Rome.
Okay. So first of all, when you asked me to pick some destination that I must see in Italy, I felt like, oh my God, this is the toughest question in the world because I was thinking about the ones that I won't put on the list. So I'll be
Yeah.
like, oh, if I put only these, only those places, what about the other ones? And then I said to myself, hang on, this is the easiest question in the world because whatever I pick, it's fine, right?
Yep.
We have so many beautiful places, so many destinations that I will put on a list that doesn't matter which one I pick. But then I had to make a choice. So first of all, I said Rome because we can say that we are all kind of related to Rome, the history of most of the countries in the world, the culture we share, and some aspects, of our, again, our culture, our life, is kind of shared with the history of Rome. So many things come from Rome that I can tell that many people when travel, even from overseas, and they come to Rome, they feel comfortable. They say like, oh, okay, yeah, I need to know this to understand better other aspects of life, other aspects of traveling, other aspects of the culture of other countries in the world. And then, the beauty of Rome. Rome is a crazy town if you think about it, because you can easily get a coffee while you look at the Pope, blessing people
Yeah.
in St. Peter's Square, right? And then you just walk a few steps away and you can go for gelato at the Trevi Fountain, right? You can have your lunch looking at the Colosseum, and you can do all that in one day, and not even a day takes you to do all that. And what if I tell you that an entire life is not enough to discover deeply Rome? So if day one can be so excited that you can do all this kind of stuff, then it's worth to come to Rome and to come so many times because, well, first of all, you can easily do twice the same things because
Yeah.
you will never get tired of that. But then, honestly, on every trip, you can visit, you can discover new aspect of a city like Rome that, again, is not enough for a lifetime. There is not just the city above the ground,
Yeah.
but there is also the city underground. And so that's why I uh, couldn't keep Rome out of a list of best places to see in
Yeah.
Italy because of that. And so again, it's definitely a city that will make everybody happy. You can come to Rome because of religious purpose. You can come to Rome
Yeah.
because of business. You can come to Rome as a tourist. You can come to Rome for so many different reasons, and you'll always be happy of.
Yeah. No, there's certainly so much to do there in Rome, and it is. We always try to start our tours in Rome, and just to be able to get people acclimatized to the destination, and it certainly helps that there's so many things to do. Again, when we're there in Rome, it's usually for a day and a half, and we really don't cover um, a quarter of the things you can do, like the highlights. So it's good to make a number of trips back to Italy, right?
Absolutely, absolutely. Last year, I had, no, last year, sorry, 2020, I had a tour just before pandemic, so it was February 2010, 20,
Yeah.
and there were pilgrims that were coming from the United States. They spent 10 days in Rome, 10 days in Rome. And when the people asked the priest who organized the tour, say, why we spend 10 days in Rome? He say,
Yeah.
because you need to do that. need to spend 10 days in Rome to understand what's coming next.
Yeah.
Okay, so this is again, the point that you can easily do Rome to prepare yourself also for traveling around the world.
Perfect. So, and again, just the pictures that we've got here, we've got in the top left corner, the Trevi Fountain.
Yep.
And we've got the St. Peter's on the lower right-hand side. We've got St. Peter's Basilica. That's looking down from the Duomo. Perfect. We're just having a little bit of issue just with the connection time, but we'll give a few minutes for Fulvio to come back.
Okay.
Yeah, can you hear me okay?
Yeah, I can hear you now.
Yeah, perfect. Yeah. So
Sorry.
That's all right. So we've got Rome. So our next place that we're going to go to, probably my favorite, Venice.
Ah.
So tell me about Venice. What's somebody going to experience when they go to Venice?
Well, something that I realized about Venice is that you feel excited before arriving to Venice. The moment when you are on the bridge from the mainland, reaching the lagoon, you feel like, oh my God.
Yeah. And he's cut out a little bit. While we're waiting for Fulvio.
On a lagoon. Sorry?
Yeah. Yeah, go ahead. You just cut out a little bit there. Go ahead.
Sorry.
All right, we'll wait for Fulvio to come back again. So I'll kind of explain some of the photos that we've got here. Top left-hand corner, that's Burano. That's one of the islands of just outside of Venice. There, can you hear me now?
Okay, I can hear you now.
Yeah, excellent. So you're talking about coming on the bridge, going to Venice. All right. Sorry, folks. There we go. You're back.
Okay.
Yeah. So we're just having some delays, but we are going across the Atlantic, right? So I think we got to we'll cut each other some slack. So Venice, just one of the top three things you'd take people to in Venice.
3 things to do in Venice?
Yep. Your top 3 things that you want to do in Venice.
Well, I would say, first of all, let's try to see Venice from a boat. There can be a gondola, of course. So it would be an easy option.
Yeah.
Kind of shocking thing, even if I knew about that, was like when I saw ambulance or police moving on a boat. That's when I said, okay, right. So it's really like everything goes on a boat here, because it's impossible, to ride a bike, to take a car through the city, a scooter, a car, anything. So try to experience the city from a boat. That can be also a public transportation. It doesn't have to be a gondola, but gondola, of course, way more fascinating. Then I will do a visit of the lagoon, which is not just because, in the lagoon of Venice, there is not just the city of Venice, but of course there are other smaller islands, or group of islands, and one of them, among them, and it's one of the pictures you have on your screen, on the bottom left, is the town of Burano, the village of Burano, where there are only few inhabitants. And this village, until probably, let's say, 40 years ago or something, nobody will ever think about moving on that island. It was a fisherman village where those fishermen decided to paint their house with a bright color in order to have in order to spot the house from the lagoon when they were going fishing. Okay,
Ah,
and this picturesque village became a place to be for the ones to reach the city of Venice, which is, of course, the main attraction of the lagoon. And everybody was super happy, to discover such a little tiny village where is also the right place where to go for a good lunch, a good dinner, because food in Burano is excellent, and became finally a touristic destination. But
yeah,
again, till 4 years ago, nobody thought about Burano as a touristic destination. Still in Venice, definitely a visit of the Doge Palace. Doge was the political and religious leader of Venice. Residence of the Doge is a museum on its own. So definitely I will cover those aspects. Then, if you find yourself in Italy during Carnival, so during this time of the year, well, Venice has one of the most spectacular carnival in the world, where people are wearing beautiful costumes, beautiful masks, very elegant, beautiful party through a night. So absolutely a cool place to be all year round, all year round. And recently, they kind of got rid of the big cruise ship that were passing right few meters away from St. Mark's Square. And to be honest with you, that was kind of ugly, so even if it was good to kind of be there, while traveling on a cruise, but now they moved the ship a little bit away, far from
yeah.
the city of Venice, just in the mainland.
Mhm. We'll give them a few seconds here, folks.
The ones of you guys who don't know that, but the city of Venice is built on
Yeah,
the sand islands below the surface of the town. So below the streets of the town, there are
yeah,
wooden posts placed under the sand who are supporting the entire city.
yeah.
So definitely having big waves hitting the city wasn't a good thing.
Perfect. All right, we're going to move on from Venice. We're going to go to Florence. Give me a couple of good places that you would take people when you're going to Florence.
Well, uh, Florence, Florence, is an open sky museum, as everybody call it, right? So you walk around the city and you see beautiful palaces, elegant churches, beautiful square with still the original statues, carved by the greatest artists of our history, still on display. So you don't have to enter a museum to appreciate, the skill of those great artists. You can easily do that just walking around. So Florence is also a very small town, at least the city center is very small. So you can easily walk through the town and see from outside.
All right, we'll give a few seconds here for Fulvio to come back.
Santa Croce Square with
Yeah,
Santa Croce Church, which is one of, to me, is probably the most important church to visit in Florence, even if everybody knows the Duomo, the cathedral, which is absolutely stunning from outside, but I will definitely enter the museum and the church of Santa Croce. Another great church I love to see in town is Santa Maria Novella, not far from the train station, which was named after the church and is sort of a hidden gem inside the city of Florence. Um, Ponte Vecchio is the one you
yeah,
have on the first picture to the left. Is fascinating. Definitely something not to miss to me in Florence is a stop on Michelangelo's terrace. I like to do that upon arrival, in order to give a sort of introduction to the city, overlooking the town of Florence from above. This terrace has been built when Florence was, for a short time of its history, capital city of Italy. So they kind of renovated a little bit the town and they built this terrace just by the Arno River. right? Overlooking, basically is, the picture you have of Ponte Vecchio is kind of taken from Michelangelo's terrace. So this is the
Yeah,
kind of view you get from that terrace.
perfect.
So those are some aspects, some things that I will do when in Florence with a group.
Excellent. Now going to my new favorite spot, Venice, Sicily. So
Oh
I've
my
been
God.
there on a cruise ship, and that top left-hand corner of Taormina, beautiful
Yes.
spot. So tell me about a couple of spots that you would go to visit in Sicily.
Oh, this is another tough question because I'm so in love with the island of Sicily that it's hard uh, to, to avoid some of the main attractions. Often when tourists ask me, what should we do next in Italy on our next trip? Sicily. Absolutely. No question
Yeah.
about that. Sicily to me is a must because in Sicily, at once you can get the best temple of the Greek time in Mediterranean area. Okay,
Yeah.
then you get some of the best mosaics of Roman time. There is a town in Sicily, Piazza Armenia village, where they discover a beautiful villa, fully decorated. I mean, the entire floor of a huge villa, entirely decorated with mosaics. But we're talking about top quality mosaics. Probably the villa belonged to this guy who was in charge of transporting animals from northern part of Africa over to Rome for the games, the shows at the Colosseum, right? And this guy, to celebrate also his business, asked the best artist of his time to decorate the villa with those mosaics, also representing how they were transporting animals, from Africa to Rome. And the details are crazy. People discover animals that are extinct just looking at the mosaic, just looking at the
Wow.
details of those mosaics. Shocking. So this is definitely one of the highlights of Sicily to me. Piazza Armerina, so the villa, this Roman villa, is crazy. The temples that you can see one of them in the pictures. There will be the town of Agrigento. The valley of the temples is absolutely beautiful. Plus, is also well organized. Often is tough for elder people, for people who have problems walking to visit archaeological areas. Here in Agrigento, it's all flat, nice and smooth. You can also do that on a wheelchair, super well organized. I was surprised and I was really happy to see finally archaeological areas that are available for everybody. Taormina, we mentioned Taormina,
Yes.
which are the pictures on your left. Basically, the one on the top represents one of the streets, of this village, which is really a gem, really, really beautiful town. Below, to the left, we see the Greek theater, which has, besides being a great theater, there is something amazing about this place. The spot where the picture was taken, this is one of my pictures, you can see at once a Greek theater, the Etna, which is the main volcano of the island of Sicily. There's not just the Etna, there are several other volcanoes around. Is the tallest active volcano of Europe. We're talking about over 3,000 meters tall. And consider last eruption was 2 days ago. So
Yeah.
continuously the eruption. So is you over there in Sicily, you see a beautiful coastline, a Greek theater, and on your back you see a volcano with snow because of the altitude, and often you see the lava coming out, like a show,
Yeah.
all at once, all in one picture. Then, beside Agrigento, there are other towns like Segesta, Selinunte, Syracuse, where people can admire other beautiful Greek temples. In Syracuse, by Syracuse, there is a little village. You can reach the village of Ortigia just walking over a little bridge, which is only 10 meters long, and you don't even realize that if people don't tell you, but you're stepping on an island, and Ortigia is another gem, another beautiful village to see in the island of Sicily. the Baroque style is beautiful all over. So again, I can talk hours about the island of Sicily, its beauty. And John, let me tell you this: you know how good the food is in it, right? And you know
Yes.
how we are very passionate about our traditions, our food, and people from different regions, they kind of debate, they fight, about who has the best food, the best recipe, and so on. But I think that everybody gets agreeable when we say that the best food in Italy comes from Sicily.
Yeah.
No
It is. It
question
is very good.
about that.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Perfect. Now we're going to get to move on to, there's a couple of places that I wanted to call hidden gems, places that people might not think of going to, but places that that you would like to take groups to, or even by yourself, right? So,
Right.
first one.
I'm familiar with that place.
All right. So this one, tell me all about this. I'm not even going to pronounce it. You have to pronounce it for me.
Okay, the name is Cerveteri.
Cerveteri.
Cerveteri. Cerveteri or Cerveteri. So Cerveteri is very close to the city of Rome. Okay, this is the town where I live, where I grew up. I didn't put it on the list because of that, but I put it on the list because it's a World Heritage Site. You know that you're probably familiar with the UNESCO, right? The organization, right? Italy is number one country in the world for the UNESCO World Heritage Sites. We have, I think, if I'm not wrong, I think we have 58 World Heritage Sites, and the archaeological area of Cerveteri is one of them. We have the largest necropoli. The necropoli is the city of dead people. So, like a large cemetery belonging to the Etruscans. The Etruscans are this old civilization who lived in this part of Italy. So we're talking about center part of Italy, what is the region of Lazio, the region of Tuscany, the region of Umbria nowadays, before the Romans, right? We're talking about 9th century before Christ. Okay, they
Wow.
had commercial relationship with Greece, which was the main civilization of the time. And because of this exchange with the Greek culture, they learned how to work different materials, kind of metals, pottery, and so on. But then they developed their own skill. They became probably the best goldsmith, the best pottery artist of their time. And what they left, I mean, what we could find about their civilization is only the cemeteries, where they basically built an entire city, uh, engraving the local stone, the tufa rock, a volcanic kind of stone, to rebuild their houses, okay, for the life after death, right?
Yep.
So they believe life after death, and because of that, they placed inside the funeral monument all the belongings to the dead people, right? Those funeral monuments, of course, change from according to the social class of the people who were buried in there. As you can imagine, a large wealthy family will have a beautiful funeral monument fully decorated inside with beautiful relief paintings and so on. And it's amazing what we could find there. Huge potteries, gold decoration, jewelries, and so on. There are museums all around the world that display the beauty of those artifacts coming from my town. Museums in the States, like the British Museum in London, the Louvre Museum has a section dedicated to my town, the Vatican Museum of Rome has a section dedicated to the Etruscans. And despite the fact that this archaeological area is famous worldwide, despite the fact that we are few minutes away from the city of Rome, and
Yep.
also very close to the town of Civitavecchia, which is one of the major ports in the Mediterranean Sea for the ones traveling on a cruise, somehow Cerveteri is out of the path, out of the itineraries of tourists traveling around the world. I understand that if you come to Italy for the first time, you may have other priorities, but trust me, this is a place not to miss for the ones who like archaeological areas, the ones who like history,
So the ones who like good food, relax, because we are by the coast. As you can see from the picture, that's a beautiful castle. There was the ancient port of the Etruscans. There are beautiful hills, waterfalls,
Yeah.
wineries, and so on. So you can have a full experience, even just a daily excursion from
Yeah.
Rome, could be a valid option to this place.
Fulvio, check your volume. Just it's a little bit low for us to hear you.
Okay, what about now? Is it better?
A little higher.
Okay, is it okay now?
Yeah, that'll be fine. Just speak a little louder if you can.
Va bene, okay.
Okay. All right. So last one is Sardinia. So we kind of have a map on where it's located. It's on the west side of Rome.
Yes, just below Corsica, which is
Yeah.
the other big island, right there. Corsica belongs to France. Sardinia belongs to Italy. But it's funny because people from Sardinia, which is normal, once you live on an island, you feel kind of different from the ones on the mainland. I always remember once when once we were overseas and somebody asked us where we were from, and there was a guy with us from Sardinia, from Cagliari, which is the capital of Sardinia, and they asked us, where are you guys from? We all say, we're from Italy. And this guy say, wait, they are from Italy, I am from Sardinia. Okay, so this is the feeling that the people of Sardinia have, okay? Different, separated. Is it kind of true? The reason why I picked Sardinia is because often when people think about Italy, they think about museums, they think about art galleries, they think about charming villages, churches, and so on. Sardinia doesn't have a big masterpiece, big highlights that may attract people from all over the world, but the nature over there is absolutely gorgeous. I go to Sardinia when I can on summertime for my holidays. Is probably my favorite place where to go if I want to spend time at the beach, swimming, diving, but also exploring the nature, going for hiking. And as you can see in one of the pictures, the one on the top right, you see a little old construction. We're talking about nuraghi. Nuraghi are buildings that are about 1,000 to 2,000 years old. Okay,
Perfect.
still standing. Consider that there are about 7,000 left on the island. We're still debating about the use people made at that time of those constructions, which are without cement, just big stones, big blocks of stones, one on top of the other. Somebody says for military purposes, somebody else says for religious purposes, and somebody else will tell you that they align those nuraghi with the stars, and actually there are proof that they are placed in the same way the stars are placed in the sky. Of course, in the past, for the old civilization, was a lot easier to spot stars in the sky because there was less, actually there was non-artificial light. So nighttime, with the clear sky, the view of the stars was probably way better, than what we get nowadays. And they could basically build those buildings and they place them the same way the stars were on the sky. But again, they're still debating about the use they made of those nuraghi. So Sardinia for me is a wonderful place where to be. I like the people. I like the fact that everything has a different dimension over there. The time goes slower. The people are very friendly. Something we all know in Italy about the people from Sardinia is that if they like you, then you cannot refuse their invitation at home to eat with. Otherwise, they get really offended. Okay, so and I experienced this myself when I was on the island and met those people and say, okay, tomorrow we'll do the little pig, the young pig. We'll roast the pig for you guys. They just met us, right? So we were already celebrities for them. We couldn't say. We tried to say no because I'm traveling with my son. At that time of the night, he will go to sleep. No. You guys have to come to my house. Now I invite you. You have to come to my house.
Oh,
So
wow.
like, okay, I couldn't say no. So really, really friendly people. Gorgeous place. I don't know how to describe. I mean, those pictures you guys see over there, they're not edited. This is not Photoshop. right? Okay, you can go
Yeah.
there and see with your own eyes. This place is absolutely gorgeous.
Very beautiful. So we're just going to wrap up. We have a couple of questions that I have for you and a little bit more about what Fulvio is about. So I don't think I have any more slides. So what's your favorite Italian food? Got to pick one.
Questions. I'll pick one. Quickly, I can tell you. It's a sauce, it's a ragu that my grandmother used to make. And after my grandmother, my dad used to make it for me. And then I wanted to learn, and I can tell you, the one I do is as good as the one of my father used to. Not as good as the one of my grandmother.
No.
Okay, no comparison with that. But the reason why I picked this one is that it gives me good memories. You know, besides
Perfect.
being a really good dish, you know, one of those dishes that takes hours before it gets ready. I do it in a pottery, right? So I cook with slow fire, few hours, and for the entire time I make it, the preparation, when I start to put ingredients one after the other, and when I eat it, I just switch back when I was a child with the entire family together. So definitely this is one of the dish I would pick.
Excellent. Good memory. All right, this is a hard question. Red wine or white wine?
Red.
Okay. Follow-up question to that. Where is the very best region of Italy for winemaking? Putting you on the spot here.
Piemonte.
Okay. And whereabouts is that located?
Piemonte is in the north of Italy,
Okay.
northwest, let's say,
Okay.
is the city of Torino. Okay.
Oh,
For
yes.
the ones who are familiar with wine, Barolo,
Yes.
Barbera.
Okay.
Those are excellent wine. To me, the best. I'm not a winemaker. I'm not a sommelier, but I also associate that to the beauty of the countryside. Of course, everybody will eventually tell you Tuscany, you know,
Yeah.
but because Piemonte is less famous than Tuscany, somehow I like it better. And
Yeah.
honestly, you know, the Barolo wine is one of the best one in the world. So the quality,
Yeah.
of course, we're talking about top quality.
I don't think you can get a bad glass of wine or a bottle of wine in Italy.
No, I've been trying for over 40 years now, and so far
It's hard. It's hard to get, especially when you get to visit the wineries and the where they make it, and it's fresh. And we always seem to, you know, what's probably one of the favorite visits that we do in Italy is going to visit a winery and doing some wine tastings. It's you know, we now try to get those wine tastings at the first of the trip, because once we get that the wine flowing, people seem to be a lot more happy. So we try to get a couple of those in a
Day
7
one.
day period. Yeah, exactly. They really like it. So Fulvio, thank you very much. I think we're going to wrap that up. We're
Thank
about
you,
45 minutes in. So I really appreciate you taking the time. I know it's before 10 o'clock over there, so we're 5 hours difference. And that's why we had to schedule a little bit earlier. We didn't want you have to get up midnight to do the presentation. So I appreciate it. I can't wait to get back to Italy to visit and to have you at the front of the bus leading the group. So thank you very much.
Looking forward for that. Thank you.
Perfect.
Thank you, John.
Excellent. And Target Tours, anybody that's on here, just watch for next couple of months. We'll probably be putting something on there for next year.
I hope to hear from you soon.
All right, Fulvio, thank you very much.
Thank you. Have a good one.
You too. Bye.
Good night, everybody.